Hello and welcome to level 80 of the Thoughts and Players podcast, the gaming podcast with bold takes and no strings attached. I am Jeremy, here once again with my two compadres. Of course, I have David.
What up?
And I have Corey.
Good evening, fellas, and good morning, players.
Good evening and good morning. You know, it's very interesting here.
All around.
Corey's a little under the weather here. I'm dragging a little bit in energy. I went to David, and David did a gun gesture with his hand and then said, "What up?" It seems like David, you got some juices flowing tonight. It feels like
He's even got the hood up. He looks
with no.
be
He
fair.
just got it. He just got it open.
Kind of
no
shirt,
showing
off the
tattoo
tattoos.
showing.
Like,
Yeah, like
have
he's
you-
ready to.
Did you? So are we in the post gang join for you of some sorts? Like, what's going on here?
Well, okay. To be fair, it's the thing Jeff Hardy does before he does his specials.
Yeah, guns.
The swine time,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I just do that a lot.
Mhm.
Like even at concerts and stuff, instead of doing like a fist or the horns, I'm just always like this.
I will say, when you did your intro, you only did one gun as compared to Jeff Hardy's typical two guns. So
Yeah, it's fair.
you are
That's
at
a good
least
point.
slightly less violent than Jeff Hardy, but I would say only slightly. Ladies and gentlemen, chickens, ducks, and hens, we welcome you into this level of the pod, where we get to talk about games, because this is a video game pod, in case you didn't know that.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Typically, we started out talking about games we're playing, and we're going to do just that. Let's hop right into the games we've been playing. Fellas who would like to go first on it? You'll go? All right, Dave,
Yeah.
take it over.
All right.
Okay, so the map rotations in Apex happened on yesterday, so that's fun. But also playing a lot of BeatStar. I have 4 more songs to unlock. That's it. And it's just right there. I'm like at the finish line, but it's taking forever. So I've been playing that a lot. And very little Overwatch, but it's in there. And that's what I've been playing.
Really, back to Overwatch a little bit. What sparked that?
I have problems.
You
I have to play ranked. It's messed up.
I've heard horrible things about Overwatch. Isn't it like the worst ranked game on Steam right
There's
now? Like
so
people
many
hate
issues.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Overwatch
there's-
1 was such a great game.
Yeah, there's one level, I don't remember, I think it's Coliseum, but one of the teams, when you leave, there's this big circle, and that's where you have to get the tank thing that you have to push. And there's 3 symbols on it, and you can get stuck on one of them. So you're automatically a 4v5 if one of your teammates gets stuck. And it's just out in the open. You're not stuck on a wall or a ledge or anything. It's just there.
Try to cut them a little slack. They're a small indie dev, so
That's what I was gonna say. It's an indie company. You can't complain too much.
I'm sure they'll get to it when they can.
Yeah, maybe in like 2 or 3 seasons.
Have we, I mean, I can't remember. Have they been officially acquired now, or still no?
Yeah,
Have they?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's.
I feel like no.
You guys keep talking. I'll look into it.
Okay.
I guess I'll go next.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I am proud to announce that I have completed Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
What?
A lot of haters, not YouTube, but a lot of haters said that between Diablo, Tears of the Kingdom, and Final Fantasy, I could not beat them. I would not even beat one of them. And I have completed all 3, Final Fantasy 16 being the last one. Not only did I complete it, guys, I 100%ed it. It's only the second game I've ever 100%ed, as far as I can remember. Like maybe back in the day on the GameCube, but even then, I don't think I did. No, I got the shiny 100%. I've done all the main quests, obviously. I did all the side quests, and I did all the hunts, and that's what it takes to get 100%. And I'll start off with the negatives to start. The side quest, that's a mixed bag. Now, a lot of the side quests are not fun at all. And they throw a lot at you. Like before the final mission of the game, I think there was 15 side quests, which ended up taking me about 4 hours to do. And a lot of it's like go to this location, pick up a couple materials. Oh, bandits or a monster appeared. Kill him. Go back and deliver it. Not a lot of fun. But I will give this credit for the side quest is they do something I don't see in a lot of games. Now, a lot of games might have like in-depth side quests where it's like a couple hours long and you're going through this. This one actually kept doing the same characters for side quests, and it's like you grew with that character and you saw them evolve throughout the entirety of, for me, the 60-hour game. And there's a time skip in there, so like you meet this person and you get to know them as you're doing their side quest through the entirety of the game, and finally they have like a really nice payoff at the end. So for story related things, that was cool. For the actual gameplay on the side quests, not a lot of fun. The hunts were really awesome, and they gave you really good rewards in terms of crafting materials to help craft like the final legendary items, including the weapon, which was awesome. And of course the game, oh man, I can't even remember where I left off. I think maybe I was like halfway through last time I talked about it. This game, like not counting the side quest, at its like peak is some of the craziest, most bombastic gameplay I've ever played. I cannot believe the scenarios they put you in. They put me in a scenario, and I was like my mind was blown. I'm like, this is nuts. Like this is supposed to be a Game of Thrones, like dirty kind of medieval game, and it's like, why did they bring me? Like this is insane. And then the next big battle was even crazier. It was Jeremy, I don't know if you're going to jump back into it at some point, but
I am.
It was, I don't know. It was like the coolest show of power I've ever seen in a game. Absolutely the coolest. And the place that we fought, it was like mind blowing to me. And just those moments were like so amazing. Like I said, no game ever tops those moments in terms of how cool they were. It was just a cool game. It felt at times a lot of Game of Thrones. It felt at times a lot of Final Fantasy. It felt at times a lot of anime, all mixed into one, all like this decent balance. At first, I was kind of iffy. I'm like, man, it feels way too separated, the Game of Thrones stuff and the Final Fantasy stuff. But towards the back end, it mixes really well and just does a really good job. The last couple missions were great. The story, yeah, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything, Jeremy. You're still playing it. The story was, I thought, amazing. I love the ending. It'll stick with me for a very, very long time. It's hard to put my finger on it. I beat it. What did I do? I beat it today.
Nice.
Earlier today. So,
just in time.
Yeah, it's very like raw. I don't want to try to like give it a ranking or anything, but
you're too close to it.
We're too close. We're too close, and I feel like I've given too many games high marks recently. Well, Tears of the Kingdom,
recency bias and all that stuff.
I just gave that, like, I would say that was a 10. Like I can't put Final Fantasy, like I can't do that 2 in a row. But kind of, I kind of liked it better. It's not as innovative.
I have heard consistently since it's come out that 16 ranks very high on people's favorite Final Fantasies.
Yeah, I mean, man, it's tough. Like for me, I haven't played them all, but I played a lot. And Final Fantasy is actually one of my more like played franchises. I got 10 right up there, and a lot of that's probably nostalgia. I got Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't know if it beats Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was my game of the year it came out, and it might. That's how good it was. And Clive himself, he's definitely going down as one of my all-time favorite protagonists. Right up there. Not saying he's number one, but he's right up there. The kind of like, not even the problems, but the kind of like the mulling and the, I have a duty and never smiling. Like you do see him become a great, great leader of people. And that's like his journey. And to see that and like have all these people depend on him and him show up every time and, make mistakes or not make the right decision, but like go through and do the things he thinks he's supposed to do. Just that willpower. Really cool. Really great game, Jeremy. I please implore you. I know you're off in the stars right now, but when you get a chance, man, go back to Final Fantasy 16. It's so good. It's so good.
Well, you knocked them all three out.
It's so good.
What's funny? Finished
what's
it.
the next game on the docket?
What's the next game? I've so the next two I had Armored Core and I had Baldur's Gate 3. Those were the two, and I could not decide, but I did make a decision today. Do you guys care to guess?
Armored Core.
Jeremy?
I think you're a psychopath and you're going Baldur's Gate 3.
I bought both.
I knew it. I wanted to say both, but
I'm horrible. I'm horrible. I bought both. All right, I bought both. We'll see. Played a little bit of Armored Core because it downloaded pretty quickly, but Psychopath, yeah, it's a 100-hour
Wait,
game. So
Baldur's Gate. What are you playing that on?
PS5.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a desktop PC that could run it. I could get it on the Steam Deck. I know it runs on there, but I figured out of the Steam Deck and the PS5, it probably plays and looks a little bit better on the PS5. So
Right.
probably.
Yeah, those will be Baldur's Gate's like over a 100-hour game. So to me,
Right.
I'm treating that like a lifestyle game. You might not get updates a lot on that game, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna play through it. I'm gonna do my Armored Core. Spider-Man's coming out next month, so
Yeah, looking
got a lot
forward
to
to
look
hearing
forward
your Armored Core impressions because I feel like that will be a game you could reasonably beat. You could beat in a reasonable amount of time. So
I'm hoping to beat it before Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Jeremy, how about you?
Well, side note, the
Yeah.
deal is still in process, so it's not
Okay.
for sure yet.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of Microsoft, I've been playing a couple games. One of those games being Thronefall. I've played it more. I've cleared all 4 levels that exist in that game so far. So cool. I'm gonna hop back into it so I can get all the badges or whatever for each level, so I can kind of like 100% it to that extent. But yeah, I've been playing that, and then the game I've been mostly playing, probably close to 30 hours in, is Starfield. And so jumping off of that, we can just pivot right into my topic, which is Starfield. There was a lot made about this game. This is another one of those things, kind of like felt like Last of Us Part 2, where it's one of those games that has like a lot of controversy for really no reason. And this is another one of those games where people are like, "Hey, this game is excellent. Hey, there's bias. This game sucks," right? I know for myself, I've had quite a journey with this game. When the game first came out, I think we had saw that game. I believe it was IGN and someone else. I forgot who else.
GameSpot.
Maybe GameSpot.
7
They
out
gave
of
it
10.
7 out of 10. And I was like, it sounds a little fishy. There might be a little bias happening. And I maybe felt that way the first 3 to 5 hours into playing this game. 30 hours into it, I get it. I get it. I get it. I read that there was a big hubbub because one of the another well-known reviewer, James Stephanie Sterling, they gave it a 4 out of 10. People were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's crazy." I heard it and I'm like, "That's crazy. You're making yourself you're not putting yourself in a position to be taken seriously with that score." And though I feel less of that, like I said, close to 30 hours in, I get it. Unfortunately, I get it.
Really?
This game is a mixed bag of emotions. And one thing this game did for me was very much clarify for myself, that I used to think that, hey, I'm a Bethesda fanboy. I am not. I am just an Elder Scrolls fanboy. It very much made it cut and dry, because though Fallout is good, I don't love Fallout, and I don't love Starfield either. Right? There are some positives with this game. So I have some notes here. There are some positives that I'll point out. What I think the best positive is the shipbuilding, which is one of the things I talked about before. Bethesda, a general negative of this game is that Bethesda does a horrible job explaining stuff in this game, explaining systems. It is one of the worst jobs I've ever seen in a game, the game explaining itself and its own systems and mechanics. But once you explore several YouTube videos, you can pretty much get a better understanding of everything, but you got to do that. Yeah. The shipbuilding is great because the shipbuilding, though it needs explanation, it does naturally make some sense. I mean, you're basically fitting modules together, but they have so many different like module parts and like structural parts. You can make your ships look like anything. I'm sure you may, if you've like paid attention, you've seen some people make their ships look like X-Wings, some look like Millennium Falcons, some look like freaking Optimus Prime or whatever. Like, you can make them look like anything. And that's really cool. So the shipbuilding, I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed the gunplay. It feels fine. It's nice feedback, right? There are some moments of when you're in space and you're on a planet that you do feel this sense of awe, which I think is really hard for games to nail. There are some moments of that. And then another positive that I can give for this game is that it's got quick slots. And I don't remember Bethesda games having quick slots. You hit up or down on the D-pad. You can select. I think each direction gives you like 4 slots, so you can have up to 16 items in your quick slot, which is great because you can switch between a shotgun and a pistol and a submachine gun and a sniper rifle and a rifle of various different gradients, whether it's physical damage or energy damage, laser stuff. Really super quick. That's really nice and convenient. 2 things that are mid. Outpost building, right? They brought that back from Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. It's there. It feels way less intuitive, but it is there. And then the dogfighting aspect. So being able to fight with your, starship battles, right? It has a cool system where they have different things that go to your ship, like a grav drive, shields. You can do like missiles, lasers, and all those things rely on power from your reactor. And you can allocate different levels of power to different systems that makes them either less or more effective. So that's a nice little way to kind of like customize how you utilize your ship in space. But going into the negatives, because there's a lot of negatives, and
Right.
and branching off from that starship thing is the space travel. It shouldn't be called space travel. It should be called loading screen travel. That's what it should be called.
Really?
Because if you want to land on a planet, you got to mark a place. You got to go on the, go on the screen and then hit the button to land, loading scene, and then boom, it shows the landing little cutscene, and then you're on there, right? If you want to jump from one star system to another, you got to set course. You hit the little button, and then you see the little jump, hyper jump, little cutscene thing, loading screen, and then you're in that system, right? And again, the one complaint I heard about was that you can't do like landing approaches to planets, which I thought that's not really a big deal because they're big planets. You're rendering so many different planets, but it is a big deal when there's basically really no space travel because everything's just a loading screen or a cutscene. So there is no real space travel. The only thing that you're in your starship for is like when you first travel to a star system and you're outside of one planet, you can, instead of having to use your menu to get to another planet, you can simply just hover your cursor over another planet, hit travel, and that'll show a cutscene going to that other planet. But besides that, there's no real space travel, right? Space fights happen when other ships basically spawn into the same atmosphere as you, essentially, like outside a planet. That's when they happen, right? And you can fight outside this little fixed area. It's very immersive breaking to be in a ship, have your ship sailing towards a planet, and you not get any closer to the planet because you have to go through a loading screen to get to that planet. It's terrible. The other thing that's really bad, this is unfortunate, is some of the quest lines. They just don't make any. You could have did way more than they actually did, and they didn't do anything. So, like for one instance, I'll give an example. So there's one quest line where, well, for one, when you do character creation, you can set up backgrounds for your characters, a bunch of different things. One of the backgrounds I set up was that I had a house on a planet already, but the bank owned it, so I could either pay to get it, pay to just own it completely, pay $500 or 500 credits a week as a mortgage, or just let the bank close on it, right? So it's owned by Galactic Bank, I guess. There's an ability, or there's a chance they have a quest line in Bank where you can work for Bank, closing or doing mercenary work. You find people who are delinquent, and you can either kill them or get them to pay the money. You get paid some money, whatever. There's about 5 or 6 instances of this. It's an okay quest line. It's just a way to make some cash. But this bank owns your house. So if you want to get your house back, you can talk to the same person you'd be getting your quest from. It feels like a missed opportunity because I finished this quest line and it just ends. There's no, well, I guess our relationship or I guess our business ends here. There's nothing like that. It just ends. What would have been nice is if I could somehow do missions to get my house back without having to pay for it. Maybe this person that I'm helping hires me to do a couple of hits on some high-ranking officials so they can move up in the chain, right? And they're like, hey, the payoff is this $125,000 house you got, which, by the way, it's a great house for $125,000. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how they got that in this market. But it'd be nice to slide on through and say, hey, you get this house now, whatever. There's an opportunity that was missed. And it feels like that with the entire game. There's just opportunities missed all over the place. There's some bugs. It's Bethesda's most polished game, but there's some bugs. I've had the game crash on me maybe a couple of times. There's been some soft locks that I've been in based on some bugs. One of the major issues that you may hear about is these two is one is the worlds. The worlds are lifeless. It's a whole bunch of copy and paste. And the unfortunate thing is that I had my hopes up because they said, hey, we're just going to do 1,000 planets. It's not going to be like No Man's Sky where there's millions or billions, but they're all procedurally generated. They might as well went No Man's Sky because I'm getting as much enjoyment out of 1,000 copy and pasted planets as I would 1 billion procedurally generated planets. You know what I'm saying? It's copy and paste. Copy and paste. The same type of abandoned bases and abandoned research labs that are on one planet, they're all over, scattered on all these other planets. Even in solar systems that weren't supposed to be quote unquote settled, they're there. So it's like there's no value in that. And then the other thing is the encumbrance system. I don't know if you guys heard anything about the Starfield stuff. The encumbrance is absurd. You are constantly encumbered. You can't not be.
Like
one of the
way
first,
worse than the other ones?
It's by far it's the worst.
Really?
It feels like no one even. It feels like it's so bad that I believe it was intentional. Like you can't carry you can't carry anything. Everything weighs a whole bunch. You have to get a bunch of cargo added to your ship. That's the only way you can hold more things or like build your outpost to hold things. But like you are constantly encumbered. If you make things, they weigh so much, you're constantly encumbered. And it just makes for a not very, because then when you're encumbered, like every other previous Bethesda game, you can't fast travel. And since the only way to get around on a planet is to use your booster pack or to run, because there's no tertiary vehicles that are out there, right? It drags everything down. Everything becomes immensely slower. And it just makes it less fun. The inventory system, that blows. There's been a mod already created to make that better, so you can actually sort things. There's no local maps. Like you can go to maps or like lift different kiosks in cities, but you can't, like I can't go to New Atlantis, which is like the major big city you first visit, and I can't go on my menu and look at local map and then just go to a store that's marked there. Corey, that's been in every Bethesda game I can remember. Why would you not have that? These are pre-designed. These are pre-designed places. They're placed. There's nothing procedural about them. Why would you not have that? And yeah, again, like I said, the UI design. You're constantly in the menu. You're in the menu almost as much as you are in the game because you're in the menu to navigate to your inventory. You're in the menu in order to travel to different star maps and different places like that in the galaxy, right? And I mean, don't forget me started on the perk/skill system because that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. For one, this game drip feeds you XP. That's why there's so many videos out about XP farming, because the pace of it is so terrible. You have to XP to get in order to unlock a skill tree or a thing, and they have like 5 skills, and there's a skill tree in each one. And in order to unlock an ability, right, you got to have a skill point, you invest in it. And then once you unlock that ability has an ability challenge that you therefore have to complete in order to unlock the next rank of that ability, which you therefore would need to level up for to get another skill point to invest in that ability. So Corey, I have to get my XP to invest 1 point into piloting, right? I then need to destroy 5 ships to unlock rank 2 of piloting. I then need to buy that rank 2. I then need to do whatever else I need to do in order to unlock rank 3 of piloting. Rank 3 and 4 is when you can unlock B class and C class ships. I can't build 2/3 of the ships right now in this game. I've got close to 30 hours in it. Why? This doesn't make any sense. This is ridiculous. This is absurd design. This game feels like it was designed in 2018. It feels like it didn't look at anything with No Man's Sky. It didn't look at anything with the Outer Worlds. It feels like it didn't look. It feels like it even was like, what is that thing? What's that big sci-fi video game IP? And someone scurries in and says Mass Effect. Yeah, let's ignore that. Let's ignore that too. It feels like they ignored everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it feels dated. It feels the way the game feels is it feels old. And I am right now in a debate with myself as to whether I should keep playing this, because my fear is that if I drop this game, I won't go back to it. But so if I keep playing it now, I can beat it and then I can get it out of my way. That's my logic, right? That's where I'm at with this game right now. So when I see it getting to 7, I'm like, I get it. When I see it getting to 4, I'm like, that's a little bit ridiculous, but I kind of get it. But then again, when I see someone giving it an 8.5 or a 9 or a 10, I get it, because you can do so much in this game. But it's one of those things where, and everyone has said it, right? Wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle. That's kind of what this game is. And some of the design ideas are just really antiquated. The hope is that this is a game they keep adding to, so they'll add content to it. There is obviously the thing that all Bethesda games need is they need time so that mods can get to it and make the game actually work and be enjoyable. That's what's happened with Fallout. That's what happened with Elder Scrolls. That's going to be the case now. Again, there was a mod that fixed the inventory issue. There's already a mod out that gives you an alternate beginning that skips the long beginning so you can just get right into the game. The fact that these are things that need to keep happening leads me to believe that Bethesda is not capable or has no interest in evolving their game design methodology, and that's concerning. Because they have to be better. It's like I said, after The Witcher 3 came out, RPGs had to be better. The industry is constantly sets new standards with games. And when you're coming out in the same year as bleeping Diablo and Baldur's Gate 3, yeah, they're not the exact same, but they're RPGs that have people completely enamored with the idea of freedom and choice. When you have that coming out, you can't come out with this where I'm encumbered for 80% of my playtime. You know what I'm saying? This is absurd. So yeah, that's Starfield in a nutshell, man. Starfield for me, at least.
I actually have four questions for you. Now, one thing you have not hit on yet is how's the graphics? Like, I know Bethesda kind of has like the old games have like lifeless kind of like characters where it's like they're standing right in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, so, is that better? And like the graphics overall, is it like, because Fallout 4 was like dirty.
Starfield is Bethesda's best looking game.
Okay, good.
The facial expressions, they still have the Bethesda Uncanny Valley type of look, which I have a soft affection for.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's still there.
All right, question 2 now. Yeah, I'm actually, over the years, I'm a pretty decently big Bethesda fan. I played all their games. Like, I have not downloaded this yet, but should I? Like, is it even like, should I download it and put my time in? You heard I just bought 2 games. Like, is this something I should try to add to the rotation?
I would say no, because you bought Baldur's Gate 3.
Wow. Okay.
If it was a different game that was maybe shorter, this is another one of those like you said, lifestyle type of games where it's just it's going to be in the background for a minute. Okay. This is one of those. I've been playing this game as my main focus, and after playing it, I've had several headaches because of just me having to figure out the game. What are you trying to tell me? How am I supposed to do this? You're not telling me this right. My job, how I make a living, is training people and telling them how to do things. Right. So to play a game that fails at it spectacularly, is a little bit frustrating. Yeah.
Couple more, and these kind of go hand in hand. Is Bethesda going down like the Pixar route? Like Pixar, like, huge, everything is a complete winner, and then it's like the quality got a little bit lower each time. So like I think we're looking at like 2 of their RPGs in a row, Fallout 76 and then this. And like Fallout 4 was, in my opinion, really awesome, but I know some people thought that was even slightly down. So, and then I guess my last question to go with it, does this kind of make you nervous for Elder Scrolls 6, right?
Right. So I'll answer the second one first.
Okay.
I'm not nervous for Elder Scrolls 6 for a couple of reasons. Fantasy, I think, plays better into Bethesda's weaknesses. I'll say that from a theme standpoint. Number two, Bethesda is trying to fit their methodology of content creation into a galaxy, where before they've only had to do it for regions of a continent. And I think that's where a lot of the copy and pasting, I think that's where a lot of the missing of depth is for this game, is that Bethesda is trying to stretch their formula over way too much. It's too wide. Elder Scrolls will be much more condensed. It's going to be a certain region again. And I feel like that will work better because it'll be just a more denser experience compared to what Starfield has.
Okay.
As far as if I think they're heading the way of Pixar, I think that Bethesda has to take a really, really, really hard look at their game design philosophy. They have to really, because this is an old myth, but it's feeling older and older. Like this feels antiquated in a lot of ways in a game design aspect. Like I said, just a lot of things where you're like, why wouldn't you have this? Like you even had this in previous games. Why wouldn't you have this now available ready at launch? So I think if they don't do that, they're in trouble of becoming more and more niche, which I don't think Bethesda's not. They're not really built for that anymore. I think to be a niche game. They were in 2003 when Morrowind came out, but they aren't now.
Right. Their whole goal has been not to be niche. It's to be for everyone.
Right.
They've been getting rid of that stuff that
they've been trying to progressively make their RPGs more and more accessible, but they're feeling more and more antiquated. And look, man, like I said, RPGs, Bethesda is just, I think they're starting to realize now the world of RPGs has passed you by. You're not that ambitious anymore, right? Like you have like this. There's some elements of this that are ambitious. Yes, the idea that you can visit 1,000 worlds in the game, right? But I mean, I would say that No Man's Sky had way more ambition at its time, and that was like 6-7 years ago.
Right.
It's not the same, man. And by no way am I saying that games like No Man's Sky are good, especially at launch. It sucked. It was terrible. But there's like a lot of things. Again, Obsidian nailed a lot with Outer Worlds. It wasn't perfect, but they nailed a lot. And I a lot of the time I was playing this, I was like, man, I just wish I was playing original Mass Effect. Like as far as a sci-fi experience, I just enjoy that more. The companionships, that whole aspect feels better. Companions in Starfield are like really hit and miss. Everything in this game is hit and miss. It's Starfield hit and miss. It's what it is.
I have questions.
Yeah.
One, we talked about it before, saying Xbox kind of needs a new game to kind of take the front.
You picked this game, David.
Do you see this being that at all? I know you said Bethesda is going to take a while for most of its games to ramp up.
If Bethesda can do to Starfield what Hello Games did to No Man's Sky, this will be a juggernaut.
But why would they? I mean, it seems like they're finally working on Elder Scrolls, right?
They are doing, they are, but I think they'll still offer a lot of support to this because this is their brand new IP. This is like what they've pinned their hopes and dreams on. This is they want Starfield to be more at the forefront, I think, than any of their other IPs, because Elder Scrolls was incubated in a different time. It almost feels like by a different company. Fallout is an IP they acquired, so it's not truly homebrewed. This is one of the things that Bethesda talked about. This is our IP. It's our idea. We created it. We're going to put it out there. So I think there's a lot of pride that they have in making sure that Starfield is successful. So I think if they put as much into it as Hello Games did No Man's Sky, it can. I'm saying all this, understand that at launch or during launch week, they hit 6 million players with Starfield. This is the biggest launch of a Bethesda game ever.
Wow.
So that's a fact. That's there. The audience for it is there. You're going to have your detractors. Half your detractors out there are PlayStation fanboys that are mad Starfield isn't on PlayStation. It would be even bigger. So this has the potential to be that for them for the next 3, 4, 5 years if they do all the things they need to do. And again, if you bring in, they're going to be bringing I forgot what it was called, but the mod support for it in sometime next year. That's gonna take it off. That's gonna take it off. I mean, think of how big of a presence Fallout and Skyrim still have now, even in gaming. So they have to do that. If not, if they leave it, if they don't improve it by much, then it'll dwindle because other games will come out.
Okay, one more.
Yeah.
So if they do all that, and it's a great success, and they're putting all this time into it, I don't know how the Elder Scrolls work, but do you see a continuation from a new game, or do you think it's
like
too
a Starfield
confined?
2 or something?
Yeah.
I got no idea. I got no read.
Okay, I know it's way too early.
Yeah, I got no read. I mean, I feel like if it's their biggest launch ever, they're gonna at least entertain some later iteration of it. But I don't know if it becomes like a full-on Starfield 2 thing or if it's just a quasi games as a service type thing.
So are Morrowind and like Skyrim like connected? Is it two different games in the same like universe, or is it completely two different games? But it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
I think that'd be kind of hard to make a game like that.
I would guess it'd be a Starfield too, because like a lot of people say, they put so much effort into making all these assets and these worlds and these systems. You don't just let that go after one game, because the next game is at least a little bit easier to, program for and to make based on the work they've already done. So as long as it's not a total failure, then for sure. Might be 15 years, but
right. And I will say that I'm going to backtrack on one thing I made before when I was like, man, I used to say, man, I really wish that Bethesda would ditch the creation engine because it's so old, it's so antiquated. And it is all those things. But the fact that it seems so easy for modders to mod for, don't get rid of it. Okay? Because you need those, they need the modders. They need them. Like vitally, they need them. Because they're already improving this game. If you have a modded version now, of course, if you mod your game, it disables achievements. But if you want to actually play this game and experience it in a way that isn't giving you just anger at times, then you need those mods. You need those modders, man. Yeah.
All right, I'm satisfied.
Nice.
Yeah.
David, do you want to go, or do you want me to go, or rock paper scissors it?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I had a topic I thought was very interesting that I was thinking about talking with my brother and my buddy Eric. I want to know what your guys' toxic gaming trait is. Jeremy's is going on, his trait is going 30 minutes on the Starfield. Way too long. No, I'm just kidding. Like, for instance, my brother, we talked to him. His was like, when he gets to a character creator, he just does the default. Like, that's crazy to me. That's insane. Like, what are you doing? And like, I had one. I have a few. One that I can think of right off the top of my head is, I have an issue with when I'm playing games purposely going in the wrong direction so I don't miss anything ever. And 95% of the time, it's not worth it. You don't get this like epic weapon or this great reward, and I'm wasting so much time. And it's like, that's not good. It's not good. So I want to hear like a couple of yours, and we can just go back and forth. Like I said, I have a couple more, but like, I know you guys have some good stuff here. I know you do.
So I think this is one, and I think it's also the opposite of what I am, is also kind of a, slight toxic thing, is I put way too much time into very few games. Like, I feel like even though my interest of certain games is, very limited, I feel like I could be playing a lot more fun games, and like, is it vice versa? If somebody just plays so many games, they don't even put any time into certain games.
Come on, man.
Then, well, no, you just put, you put 60 hours in the Final Fantasy, so you're fine there. But if somebody doesn't put more than 10, 15 hours into any game ever, I feel like they're not finding a game that they can just always come back to and feel relaxed and enjoy themselves instead of trying to learn the story or learn the movements or learn this and learn that. So I think mine is I play too much of the same games.
It's interesting.
That's fair. Yeah.
My toxic trait is that kind of the opposite of your brother, is that I name things very stupid things in games. So
that's what I told my brother. That's what I told my brother, because I was trying to like pick your guys' out for you. I'm like, man, I think Jeremy's gonna be like, he names his characters like Butthole, and it's like,
so like well, like for instance, again, apologize for any language, but like my spaceship in Starfield, right? I modified it. I have like a landing gears. They're like big nodules on the side, and then I have a longer main stern of my ship, and it's painted blue. So what do I call the ship? I called it Blue Dick. All right, that's what I called it. When I play Madden games,
come on.
when I play Madden games, my coach names, I usually name them Derpy Derp. That's just what I name them. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth, so on and so forth. You know, I had a character in Elder Scrolls once that I just named Cabbage. These are things that I do. I would say sometimes I don't take them as serious as maybe I should with games.
I think Blue Balls would have been nice.
I thought that's where you're going with too.
Yeah, I understand. But see, here's the thing though. See, I'm enough where I subvert expectations.
Right. Yeah, that's what we would have thought it would have been.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay.
Exactly. All right. What I want to know is, Corey, what did you think mine was?
What did I say? I can't. Man, my memory is terrible now since having my child.
Mine. Yeah.
What was it? It might have been something similar to playing the same games, or if we keep talking, I'll try to think of it, because I know I'd pick. I swear to you, I'd pick that one out for Jeremy. And like I said, I think I had one for you. What was it? But if you guys want to keep talking, I don't know.
Keep going. Maybe it might pop back up.
Did you have? I can go with another toxic trait unless you have one, David.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
My other toxic trait is having anxiety about not finishing games and then choosing to play games that require an immense amount of time in order to play and beat. So I'll do that. Oh my God, I can't believe this is going to be something crazy. And then I play Civilization, or I play City Skylines, games that are meant to be time sinks where you don't get anything from spending hundreds of hours in them. So that's something else I typically do.
Mine is, I guess, another one would be learning. Like every ranked, I'm always either like plat or diamond. Like I'm never really like I hit masters last season, but that was the easiest season to do it. But, like I just don't improve. Like I'm better than average, but that is it. I am like right above the bar, and I just don't sit and learn. Like I know tons of people that go into like target practice and sit there and practice their aiming and do this and do that and practice like in Apex there's a lot of like movement that you need to practice and learn, or else you're not gonna be able to do it. And I don't learn. I just sit there and get pummeled by really good people because they sit there and practice. I don't. Yet I put 3,000 hours in Apex and Overwatch.
I thought of another one for myself. I tend to buy games from genres that I just don't put time into at all. Like I know for a fact I should not be buying city builders or theme park builders or Jurassic Park builders. And like every time one's announced, I'm like, this game looks so good. I gotta buy it. I want to put time into this.
This is going to be the one.
And yes. Yeah. I know it'll be the one. And I just never, because those games take effort, and I never put the effort in and really sit down, because I'm jumping into games all the time, jumping into different games, and I never put the time into it to really learn the mechanics and stuff. And I just did that as well. I've tried 4 CRPGs. Divinity 1, 2, the story one. I played 4 of them. The one that you wanted to buy with the detective, the cool graphics.
Disco Elysium?
Disco Elysium, yes. So I played like 4 of these CRPGs, never put more than like 10 hours into any of them, because they do take kind of like a level of commitment and knowing the mechanics. And what am I doing? I'm jumping into Baldur's Gate 3, probably the most complicated and deep one out of them all. So yeah, that's another thing where it's just I shouldn't do it at all. I know I shouldn't, but
That's funny that you mentioned effort because my boss bought us lunch today and we were going to pick it up, and he was talking about this study that because we were talking about kids skipping grades because when they're too smart, and he was like, you want to reward their effort, not their results. It's better in the long run for them, because if you're always saying, hey, you got an A, good job, like they're just going to be looking for results for their entirety of life, instead of seeing how much effort they put in and how much time and stuff like that. So I think you haven't applauded yourself for the effort you've put into the games. You just don't get the results that you're looking for, and you just quit the game.
No, it's very much little effort.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Is there any that like we see in each other? Like I said, not mean ones. Like I said, Jeremy, do we see any that David? Like I said, he pointed out a good one, like putting the hundreds and thousands of hours and like just ignoring like all-time greats. Like, hey David, any interest in this amazing game? Nah, I'm playing Apex. Like, hey David, what game you playing? I'm back to Overwatch. There's gotta be something.
Yeah. I don't know. I did think of another one for myself as far as a trait. Which was, what was it? I completely forgot now. Not that I'm thinking about what you were asking. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Well, but I think this kind of applies to all of us in regards to feel, right? I felt like of all of us, David is much more of a feel gamer. If that makes any sense.
What do you mean by that?
Like David has to, I think of all of us, David is much more willing to opt out of playing a game he started playing if he doesn't feel it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where, Corey, you and I would maybe we're so there's gotta be something. We're always trying to figure there's gotta be.
Yeah, I've never completed a game in my life.
And I have. Very recently.
I have as well.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, again, I don't actually think that's a toxic trait. If anything, I think the inverse, Corey, you and I, the fact that we're the opposite of that, I think that's more toxic. That we're willing to subject ourselves to something that we have complete and utter animus for, in order to complete it. Like that seems insane.
Right, which kind of makes sense now, because you guys think I'm weird that I put all this time in Apex and I still rate it like a 7 out of 10.
You know what? That is a toxic trait. Like, you're one of those people that like are on Steam that have like 2,000 hours in the game.
Not recommend.
Not recommend. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, David? How many hours do you have in the Apex?
3,000.
It's a 10 out of 10. I don't care what you say. Yes, it's not a perfect game, but you don't put 3,000 hours into a game that's not an amazing experience.
It could be better.
Because if you do, that's toxic. That's extremely toxic.
I'll take it.
That is interesting.
I got another one for Jeremy too.
Okay, go ahead.
And you talked about like hate playing a game.
Yeah.
And this is sort of similar, but not quite, because you don't hate play, but you do play bad games and like them, which is like fine.
Like Falcon.
But it's also a little toxic. Yeah, like the Falconeer. Like you actually recommended that to people. It's not.
I recommended they give it. I think the better example would be the Guild 2, because I love that game. And as I've said before, that game doesn't work sometimes. It doesn't pause. I cannot drive this home enough. Pause. When you push the button, it doesn't pause.
That's incredible. We don't have experience with that game though. We definitely know the Falconeer though.
You've experienced the Falconeer.
And like something like, I know, Two Worlds. Did you hate that game? Or
no, I actually liked it.
Right. That's a terrible game. Terrible game.
Yeah.
Horrible game. So like that's definitely pretty toxic, I think.
I don't know if I said this before, but I used to sometimes write user reviews on GameSpot website, and that I gave Two Worlds a higher score than Grand Theft Auto 4, and I got kicked off the site. They would not let me write more reviews. I got kicked off.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. No, yeah,
I'll take that.
This is off topic, but somebody was this was like years ago back when I was in college, and somebody was like, "Hey, I need a good biology teacher." I was like, "Oh, I had this person. They were all right." So they took the course. They're like, "What is wrong with you? I hate this teacher. They suck." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, well, I didn't really do my work, so I don't." So I feel like that was a bad review I gave. It'll be all right.
Here's one that I think you've somewhat admitted to, Corey, for you, but I'm not sure if
Yes.
you completely feel this way. I think a toxic trait is that you think every game you like is a good game,
Yeah.
Well, it is.
which boggles my mind. That
It is.
that literally boggles my mind.
It is.
You have to like
That
at
demonstrates
least a couple bad games.
Yeah, that demonstrates at least like no attempt of objectivity
But like
in your game.
if I like them, then they're not a bad game.
But they are though.
No,
But
no.
they can be.
I mean,
But
yeah,
they
I guess
can be.
maybe that's my
Listen,
toxic
if
trait,
you liked
but, like,
Redfall, you would probably stand your ground saying it's a good game.
but I wouldn't like Redfall. I can already
I'm just
tell.
saying, as an
That game
example,
looks like trash.
just throwing it out to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? That is pretty toxic because I do remember we had this discussion.
Yeah.
About like, yeah, what's a 10 out of 10 or something to you? And it's like, yeah, you know what? If I like a game, it's probably a good game. It's probably a good game. Like I'm the messiah of good game or bad game
Right.
in my head. So
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Except for the fact that it doesn't work a certain way. Like if I don't like a game, I can still see it as a good game in that regard. Something like The Witcher 3. Right. I know that's an all-time great game. I didn't like it at all. Same thing with like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it, but it's obviously a good game.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
There's something I want to say about that, but I don't know how to put it into words. So like you're saying, I don't like this game, but I could see it being a good game for other people. But then this, you're like, this is a good game because I like it and it has all this and that. But you don't have the other part. Like I like this game, but it's not that great.
I would like an example. If you guys can bring out an example of a game.
I don't.
I know because there's not, because I curate and I play good games. I curate and I play good games. Simple as that. That's what I do.
I don't think. Here's the thing. I can't recall right now, but I will recall in some other off time, and I will be sure to revisit this at random in one of the levels and say, this game you said was good that you enjoyed.
Right. We'll see. Yeah.
It's in the air now.
It's in the air. Prove me wrong. Someone's gonna come out with just like one of the most disgusting, terrible games.
One of our viewers would be like, "Remember this game?" Or be like,
"Remember that?"
Yeah, that is trash, and Corey does like it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
My topic?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so I thought this would be really funny. I was just like picturing a commercial in my head. Is if a character from a game was like in our world and they were in a commercial advocating for a product, who do you guys think would be supporting what? Like here's my example. So I was thinking about it, and if like Leon Kennedy was in our world, he'd be like, Neosporin, not as good as First Aid, but still good. You know, just something. That was just a funny thought in my head.
I got one real quick. I feel like Kratos would advertise for like a protein mix, but he'd be very similar to like athletes that just aren't actors at all. You know, when they take like just like the famous athlete and they put him, hey, try whey protein. It's, you know, but hit like try whey protein. It would be like just like the worst acting job ever, but obviously it would sell. The guy's ripped. So I feel like he would sell protein.
Interesting.
That you saying the whole bad acting thing, that
100%. Yeah.
That makes it funny.
Yeah. Yes.
I could see I got a couple of weird ones. I can see any of the guards that are in Skyrim being spokespeople or selling those like barbecue accessories that are made by and support veterans. So it just that voice of just being like, you can support your veterans by and then just whatever it is, by purchasing this spatula. Or my other option was I can, for some reason in my head, hear Clive doing a Lincoln commercial like Matthew McConaughey. Okay.
Yeah.
He would
That
have the
works.
whole cadence. He has the broodingness,
Yeah.
the existential wondering about him. I could see all that.
That's a good one.
I got another good one, I think. So I got kind of like thicker thighs, right? Like they're just like big thighs, I guess. And from time to time, like you feel a little bit of chafing there, right? Like sometimes, like everyone has a little bit of chafing, right? Who would have the worst chafing of all time? Chun-Li. Like if you've seen her thighs, so I think she would be great for advertising baby powder.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah. I would love to see her in a baby powder commercial.
I see that she like start patting her thighs down, rubs them
Yeah.
all together, and then starts doing her
Yeah.
kick thing. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
baby powder,
like-
try it today.
Exactly.
Mm.
Or that popped one. Okay, so like Ken and Ryu are in a commercial, and you're like, do you need a new car? Is your old one all beat down and wore out, and then some just
Yeah.
beat down a car, destroying it like in the side mission things? Well, come on down to whose ever dealership today, and
Yeah. This would have to be on like the dark web, not necessarily like a TV commercial, but I
Okay.
could see
Let's have it.
Mario slinging drugs. Like
Really?
having like a homemade like video, be like, hey, come to Mario's Emporium. I got mushrooms, I got coke, I got the fire flowers, and just having all like little materials and him being like real like dark eyed and like real messed up, and Peach, like it's a real dark scene. Like I don't like talking about this, but Peach coming in like, Mario, I need money, get out of here, you know, and Luigi
Very,
was just
very seedy Mario.
he gets a call and Luigi was just shot and he's at the hospital and Mario's like, no, don't take him to the hospital, bring him here, and it's just like this whole just like real like you hate to see it because he was a child star back in the day, and it's just he's still got a little bit of fame, but he's pimping it out to sell mushrooms and everything. It's disgusting. It's horrible.
Mushroom dealer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's real, just something out of like Robot Chicken or something.
I love that show.
It's a great show.
I can see and I don't know her name, but whoever the protagonist is for Mirror's Edge, I can see her doing. I can see her doing like a Puma commercial, of like wearing the shoes.
That's great.
It would be
And-
very artistic.
Jumping all over the place. Yeah, I could definitely see that. 100%.
What is her name? Eve? Something like that? I bet it's something close.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Or Mercy? Was it Mercy?
Faith Connors.
Faith. I think that's close. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's
I'll
all
Her
right.
take it.
alias is Phoenix Carpenter.
Phoenix. I like that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
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 Wow, I never would have guessed Faith. They don't say her name too often in that. I don't think though. I don't know. It's been like 15 years since I've played it.
We need a new
Amazing
one.
game.
Yes.
And then obviously, pick your choice of any of the people from Overwatch. They're doing an OnlyFans commercial. That's
Oh.
just the lane they're in the internet now. So
Road
it's-
the record. Here we go.
Roadhog.
yeah. It's just
Can't wait to see Roadhogs.
that's just how they go.
Working.
Obviously, Master
Who would-
Chief.
Who would you pick, Jeremy? Who would
Who
you
I pick?
subscribe to? The Overwatch. I mean, let's hear it.
I'm not very familiar with Overwatch.
I mean,
so-
you know him by look. Is
No, actually, I don't.
David?
I don't know.
No. Corey
Oof.
obviously has one.
Maybe
'cause
like-
he probably
I don't have one, but I mean, if I had to pick off the top of my head, not previously thought about this to any regard, like it would probably be Farah. Farah, right? That's her name.
Farrah, yeah, the flying one.
Yeah. She's what is she? I don't want to be disrespectful. Is she Indian?
Anna's daughter.
Is she Middle Eastern?
I think they're Egyptian.
Egyptian. That makes sense. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Okay.
Obviously, I think Mercy's a strong choice to have a strong OnlyFans.
Mhm.
But, well,
I mean, from just what I've heard, I think they all would do well. Even the
Egyptian.
Egyptian and half indigenous Canadian.
Wow.
That's the thing about Overwatch. They try to get everyone in. Like, how
Yeah.
can we fit a Canadian in? Make her half Canadian.
There you go.
They'll get every
Can't-
race, every
Can't get in the whole thing in there, but
gay, lesbian, black, white, Egyptian, everything. They'll get everything. They fit everything
Canadian,
in that game.
yeah.
They've hit every single type you could get.
I'm
yeah.
half black and a quarter reptilian.
Yeah.
I don't. These are funny. I like this.
Yeah.
I'm glad I thought of
Yeah,
this.
good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody else. I mean, there's so many other people you can think of pitching stuff. I was going to say, Master Chief, obviously doing, an Army Strong commercial.
Mm.
Something like that.
I could see Solid Snake before they banned it. Smokes,
Yeah.
like be like me, like the big husky voice and
Mm-hmm.
and then being
That's
like
good.
banned later for it, like canceled.
100%. Oh, 100%.
He's
Yeah.
the cancer.
Right,
what?
right.
Well, let's just a little side divot here before we go into the game. Game characters who in real life we believe would get canceled because Solid Snake
Yeah.
feels like an immediate this guy's getting canceled. The other person I can think of, I can't think of his name. Frank from Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. It's Frank. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
he for sure seems
Yeah.
like someone that would get canceled.
I mean,
100%.
I don't even think this guy would have an opportunity to get canceled, but definitely any of the Grand Theft Auto guys, but especially Trevor. But he's canceled out of the womb. Like he doesn't have a chance to be up there.
Yeah,
He's such a degenerate.
yeah, but you know what Trevor feels? Trevor feels like someone that would get canceled, but then have a bigger following after getting
Yeah.
canceled.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Maybe Caustic from Apex. He's like, I don't remember his quote exactly, but it's like, I don't care how they die, but I want to watch.
Yeah,
Like
you're probably getting a
that's-
little canceled for that. You're
It's
probably-
out there, man.
Johnny Cage as well. Womanizer. Would definitely say the wrong thing.
Nut puncher.
Yeah, nut puncher.
Yeah. Johnny Cage. Yeah, Johnny Cage looks like someone that may drop a couple of N-words in like a really tight,
no.
in like a really tight
No. No.
meeting.
Johnny Cage is a womanizer, but he seems like he would be invited to the barbecue. Now this is getting off topic even more. Like, who is a racist video game character? Like, who do we just think is like, yeah, they're racist? They're racist.
Oh well, any and everybody in the Red Dead games is racist. That's 100%. They all sound
I mean,
it.
they have to be. Look at what time
Look at the
zone. or
time,
not
yeah,
time
yeah,
zone.
yeah.
Time frame that it's in.
I think if we're looking at modern, I feel like Chris Redfield. I know he was with Shiva in 5, but he's a cop. There's a lot of great cops, but he's seen a lot of things. He would have some prejudices, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like he could be racist.
I follow you.
Maybe
on that.
Alloy.
You think from
I think so. I think she was raised very specifically, and she would change her mind. But initially, yeah, she's
like you think eventually she'd change it. See, that's what she seems like one that maybe was grown up to view others from a certain direction,
yeah.
and then she gets a taste and she's fully on the other side. Then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, huge racist. Probably the biggest one. Probably the biggest one, easy.
He would run up to you and he would drop the N-word right in your face and then run off.
Mm-hmm.
And what could you do?
What's his name? Shadow?
Oh,
Shadow.
yeah, he's
I was just saying, if anybody from the Sonic world, it was either Shadow or Knuckles.
Yeah.
no Knuckles is
That never
Shadow.
Shadow. That's a better one.
Shadow. Matter of fact, well, I don't know if that'd be the thumbnail, but I think we all can agree it's a no-brainer. Shadow's
Shadow for
racist
sure.
in gaming.
Shadow's a mother effing racist.
100%.
People are going to be listening like, where did that come? It's one sentence
Yeah.
in an hour and 45-minute podcast.
100%.
That'll be the whatever it's called, the snap. Shadows canceled.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you guys let us know, who do you think the biggest racists in gaming are? That'll make for a fun.
That will make for a
conversation.
fun. Yes,
Yeah.
it will.
Watch us blow up for this level.
Nah.
Let's do it. Yeah.
But is that putting a button on that topic? Are we ready to
I
play
think
some
so.
games? We're ready to go into game time. All righty, let's go into game time. And for this level's game time, we're doing legally guessing. If you don't know, 20 questions, one guess to figure out the mystery game that is in our mind. And I will be bartending this round of legally guessing. I have a game in mind. Guys, you start firing away those questions whenever you're ready.
Let's do this, David. Was this
Let's
game
see.
released in the last 10 years?
Yes.
Oh. Is it on any of the PlayStations?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So we got Xbox or Switch or PC. I feel like I shouldn't ask if it's an exclusive because there's no way it would just be like, okay, is this an Xbox game?
Yes.
Okay.
Xbox game from the last 10 years. He didn't just do Starfield, right?
Well, let's find out. Just to
Okay,
make
yeah,
sure.
yeah, we're not gonna
But
ask, but
so the
that's a
last 10
strong
years
possibility.
of Xbox games is just the series and the one, right?
Yes,
Okay.
you can
That's
pretty
not
much get rid of the one.
Well, he could be sneaky
He could be
Lots of
sneaky.
games on the one.
because there is it's still a slight cross right now,
Yeah, it's true. It's
being
true.
released for both. And
But I'm thinking it's mostly just an Xbox exclusive, or at least a console Xbox exclusive. 'Cause it's not on PlayStation. Like, there's no way it was just Xbox and Switch. But even
Right.
then, if it was, it would be something like Xbox made, like Ori, or like something like Cuphead. So I would think of it Xbox first. Oh. Is this an Xbox Series X or S game? Did it come out originally on these consoles?
Yes.
Okay. So we're down to like the last 3
Is
years.
it a racing, a fighting, or a beat 'em up?
No.
Okay. I want to get the niche ones out of there.
Right, right. Is it a RPG? Is it an RPG? I think that's what it is anyway. So
Yes.
is it just Starfield? Is it just Starfield? It might just be Starfield, David.
Well, there's been a few.
Has there?
Is it in space?
Yes.
Oh my! This. All right, one more question. One more clarifying question. Is it made by Bethesda Game Studios?
Yes.
Jeremy either takes his showers as hot as possible or as cold as possible. Go ahead, David. Take it away.
Is it Starfield?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I thought slightly about pivoting and going Outer Worlds just to be a knucklehead, but I decided not to.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Last time you did Legally Guessing, it was Freedom Fighters, a one-off PlayStation 2 game that none of us had ever heard of.
Mhm.
And now this episode, it was the biggest talked about game of the last 7 days.
100%.
All right, well,
100%.
there we go.
Well, hey, look.
That's hot and cold. There's no middle.
You guys are never
Right.
happy, right? I give you Freedom Fighters, you're not happy. I give you Starfield, you're not happy. I give you Chrome Hounds, I get hounded for it for the rest of my life. It feels.
Oh, I need Chrome. I appreciate.
I did it with
appreciate
Tears of the
easy
Kingdom
win.
too. So
I appreciate the easy win.
it's all right.
Well, they got it, everyone. It's Starfield. The soup du jour of the game, I guess, or the whatever game du jour of the day. We're done with that. That leads us to final thoughts. We make a final thought. It can be something about or something related or unrelated to this podcast episode. So, who would like to give their final thought first?
I'll go first because I have actually a little bonus topic
Yeah.
that I don't think is big enough for a regular topic. But F-Zero 99 recently came out on Nintendo Switch. Haven't had a chance to play it, but I've been watching it on YouTube. Looks like a ton of fun. I do want to get online just to play it again. I want to know, guys, what do you think would work in the 99 universe for any game? You know, we've seen Tetris 99, that was a lot of fun. Pac-Man 99, a lot of fun. Mario 35, really cool. And now F-Zero 99. Anything else you can really see it working for?
Just for people that may be not familiar, what do you mean when you say 99?
99 is they've been taking these games and making them battle royale-esque. So Tetris, you're playing Tetris, but you're competing against 98 other people, and whoever's last. Sometimes you get power-ups. Like in Tetris, you do get power-ups. In Mario, it was a race through the levels, and the more coins you collected and the more enemies you killed, it would spawn on other people's maps.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like playing the game regularly, but with an added challenge with the other players.
Gotcha.
Anything stand out as a possible future 99 game? And like I said, not just for Nintendo, even though they're the ones that do it.
Well, if they want to reinvigorate some life into a dying IP, why don't you do a Halo 99, huh? Do a Halo 99. Have it be a thing where maybe it's like a horde mode thing where like each player is going to have to fight a horde of like oncoming enemies, and whoever is able to defeat the horde the quickest adds an additional boss or an additional higher level boss to someone's upcoming horde in the next round or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It could be cool. You could play around with that. You could have it be Marines versus Covenant. You could have it be Covenant versus Marines. Maybe you bring the Flood or whoever else you want in there and just spice it up or something.
That's cool. That's cool. I would play that.
That was good.
3 for 3. You're welcome. Get on it.
Wow. I was thinking maybe Kirby somehow.
Okay.
You know, kind of like the same way like Mario. Like if you suck in the fighter dude, 2 more spawn on someone else's or whatever, and you know, I think it could work.
I was thinking Smash Bros, but probably with like a very limited amount of characters.
But like having that many people battle is kind of excessive.
It is, but that's kind of like what makes those things fun, you know. But yeah, it would be hard. I don't know.
It's hard
I feel like
8 people around.
Mario Kart's super easy. Obviously, just did it with F-Zero, so that could work.
Yeah.
All this to say, I think the 99 concept is really cool. And whatever they do, I'm kind of looking forward to like at least seeing what it's about. And F-Zero seemed like it worked out real well.
What do you think about, and this may be weird, what do you think about a Sifu 99? Huh?
Everyone in like the nightclub just going at it.
Just fighting like all these different, I mean, you know, it's so granular in regards to like when you parry and when you strike. You have to be so precise with it that I feel like you'd see some crazy fights go down between people.
And like if you get KOs, you're stronger. So that would stop the people from just kind of like hiding out in the corners and letting other people fight.
Exactly.
I love it. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, that works perfect.
Why aren't we making games? What's going
Seafood developers, get on it. I don't know why. I don't know why we aren't. Probably should.
We lack talent.
That's actually a really, really, really big obstacle. Yeah.
That's my problem. Is I'm a planner, not a doer.
Right.
Here you go.
Big picture guy.
There you go. You got to have ideators and implementers, right? And you just got to get the implementers.
We ain't implementers.
Right. For final thoughts, I can give mine next. Mine's is I can't stress enough that I don't know if Starfield is a bad game or if it's a really good. I don't know. Okay. What I do know is that whenever I do get done with Starfield, I am hopping right back into Final Fantasy 16, finishing it off.
Please do, man.
I've been kind of itching to play it. I've almost been like, if I ditch this, I can get back into Final Fantasy 16 faster. So I've been thinking about it. So Final Fantasy is getting beat.
Okay, good.
Sooner or later. Yeah.
Good.
That's my final thought.
Nice. I'll see. I'm excited to see how you guys agree and disagree on certain things, which always seems to be the case.
He's much more of a technical guy, while I'm much more of a feeling person, I feel like. So I would not be surprised if we do have strong difference of opinions with Final Fantasy 16. But he is going to admit that the moments that are cool are spectacular. He will admit that.
I will say, just really quick, small criticism based upon feeling in Final Fantasy 16. Did you feel like the beginning of that game had more momentum than the later parts of the game? Do you wish it would have maintained that same pace from the beginning?
No. I feel like the beginning had less momentum. I feel like maybe where you're at, or maybe a little bit further than that, it loses its stride a little bit.
Yeah.
But from the midway point to the end, it was just a roller coaster of just jetting down there. But I feel like the issue I had with the beginning was the combat didn't feel special enough to justify all these like smaller battles that I was having. You get these powers, the Icon powers. By the end of the game, you have a lot of powers, and you can really customize and use your favorite ones. And I had like a group of 6 that I really enjoyed, and I was able to kind of like use them all 6 in a row. And by the time I used all 6 in a row, I had that first one coming back again. So I felt like it gained a lot of momentum as the game went on. Just maybe skip some of the side quests, or a lot of them.
Yeah, I'll make sure to do that.
Yes.
All right. My final thought. My final thought is I only have 4 more songs to get off on BeatStar, right? And I'm not in the top 200 for score, right? They have more songs than me, way more than 4. So that means I have to put money into it, and I don't know if I want to, because I want to be on that top 200, but I don't want to drop a bunch of money. So I'm in a conundrum.
That's a toxic trait.
Yeah. Where are you right now in your rank?
It only says top 1%.
Oh, that's it, huh? That's it.
I'm 5 million points off of being in the top 200.
Dude, you're such a mellow guy usually. Like a whole like, hey guys, enjoy your day. Have a good time playing. Let's just have a good time. But why does it matter? You know your skill.
I just like it.
He likes it though. He plays the ranked Apex and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He likes to be known as a big deal. He likes it.
There's 3 difficulties in it. There's normal, hard, and extreme. The normals give you 50,000 if you get all perfect pluses. The hards give you 75, and the extremes give you 100. And I'm 5 million points off. So that's quite a lot of songs.
How much money have you put into this game already?
I just buy the battle pass things. They're called beat passes, whatever. So maybe $80, $70, not a lot. I don't want to put extra money into it, but yeah.
Like 70, 80?
Yeah, because the beat pass lasts 20 days.
My wife gave me a beat. My wife gave me a beat pass the last couple.
Nope.
Nope.
Don't have to do that, and that brings us to the end of level 80 of the Thoughts and Players podcast. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast service. We are on the Googles and the Apples and the Spotifys and all of those. I will let that. Look, I'm not shaming. Okay, I admit it. I called my spaceship Blue Dick earlier. I am not shaming. If you want to support us on the socials, you can. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Thoughts and Players. That goes all one word. We are on Instagram at Thoughts.Players. We are on TikTok at Thoughts Players. We are on Twitter at Thoughts Player 2. And of course, we are on YouTube at Thoughts Players, where we upload video versions of the podcast. Also, your boys have a Patreon. If you want to support your boys, go over there and check it out. $2, $5, $7 tiers. It gets you goodies of previews and reviews and other cool things that we got popping off over there. I will update. A longer time ago, I promised a Kena Bridge of Spirits review. I have subsequently done 2 reviews besides that in the interim of that. But that one will be the next one. Okay, so look out for that. We'll also have other reviews coming out. But that's it for me. Gentlemen, is there anything else you'd like to end the night with?
No.
Okay, very smart decision by you, Corey. All righty, well, then that is it for us, and we will catch you on the next one.